before we search the dust and ruins for Atlantis, we must first listen to the whispers of the past. Plato didn't leave us a map, but he left something more intriguing. Clues, not mere riddles, but sweeping signs painted across geography, history, and myth. Michael Hübner, a scientist and software engineer, saw Plato not as a poet, but as a thinker hiding truth within metaphor. To him, Atlantis wasn't fantasy, it was a puzzle, and puzzles he believed could be solved. These were not echoes of legend, but fragments of reality, waiting to be pieced together. He sorted the clues into 3 tiers: global, to define the world; regional, to narrow the zone; local, to find the precise place. Hübner devised a brilliant plan, a technique of constraints, a system of elimination. Think of it as a high-tech, Plato-inspired method, each clue a filter, narrowing the path until only one remained. But let's begin with the first frame, the global clues, the grand filters, and the vast arena. Atlantis wasn't some distant fable, drifting beyond the edge of the known world. Plato described it as a true enemy of Athens, one powerful enough to launch ships, to wage war, to strike with force and intent. If it could challenge Athens, it had to be close enough to matter, not in mythic isolation, but within the range of ancient navies and marching armies. That's why Hübner set a boundary 5,000 kilometers, not based on speculation, but drawn from the outer limits of ancient conquest. Even Alexander the Great, the most relentless conqueror of his time, never pushed beyond that distance. If Plato's tale held truth, Atlantis had to be somewhere reachable, far enough to feel foreign, yet close enough to strike, a place just over the edge of familiarity, within the grasp of ancient ambition. Plato spoke of a narrow mouth, a strait, the ancient gate to the great beyond. The Greeks called it the Pillars of Hercules, 2 towering sentinels marking the edge of the known world. Beyond them, he said, spread a true ocean, vast and real, greater than the Mediterranean. Most believe this was the Strait of Gibraltar, the meeting place of myth and geography. And Hübner took Plato at his word. Atlantis, then, must lie before that mouth, and not far beyond it. An island, or a land, positioned near the threshold, where the Mediterranean Ocean exhales into the Atlantic Ocean. This was no poetic flourish, it was a geographical beacon. One more filter in Hübner's method of precision. One more clue narrowing the search. Some say, near those ancient gates, a cave still bears the hero's name, Heracles, carved in stone and story alike. A quiet guardian, perhaps known to those who came before, a whisper that even the myths once walked these shores. Some believe this very cave, etched into the rock near the strait, is no mere coincidence, but confirmation, a living echo of myth, anchoring Plato's words to earth. If the cave of Heracles still watches the waters, then this strait, the narrow mouth, may truly be the Pillars of Hercules, a boundary of the known, the threshold to the lost. Atlantis had already reached into the Mediterranean, Egypt, Libya, and Tuscany. It could not be within those lands. It had to lie beyond them, to the west. Then came an unexpected whisper. Elephants, not carvings, not metaphors, but herds of living giants. Where did they roam in ancient times? Africa, Southern Asia, not Europe, not the far Americas. This points us to lands wild and warm. Geography held another key. Plato described a plain, broad and fertile, shielded from the north wind by mountains vast and tall. So tall, he said, they surpassed all that now exist. Atlantis was cradled by heights, a kingdom beneath mighty peaks. Culturally, it stood apart. This was not Europe, nor Asia. Plato was clear. Atlantis came from elsewhere. A third domain, a challenger from the beyond. And then, the shimmer of wealth. Plato didn't start with gold or silver. He gave us orichalcum, a blazing rare metal that lined the walls and shone in the streets. Temples and towers glowed with a mineral born of legend. And finally, the plain, broad and level, stretching wide beneath the southern sun. 9 clues, 9 thresholds, each one a gate no false theory could pass. Michael Hübner tested them all, and nearly every land on Earth fell short, except one, southern Morocco, the Souss Massa Plain, cradled beneath the towering high Atlas Mountains. This is where the path leads. The map is already shifting. The titans of Atlantis stir. Truth and legend walk side by side. The search still whispers on.